All right, let's take a bow and step off the mat. The Expanse just continues to be amazing.
Yeah, and it's one of those shows where it's one of these shows now that sometimes I'm expecting so much from it. It's not until the second viewing that I really appreciate what's going on. And this was one of those episodes that was like that. First time I watched it, it's like watching one of those movies where you're anticipating it and it's so much going on. You're like, okay, that was fine. And then you watch it again and you're like, damn, that was good.
Yes, 100%. It's one of those shows where, you know, it's so well written, it's so well acted, and it's so well produced. To the point where, like, I had a friend on Facebook who was talking about the warp bubble in Star Trek, and wondering why they don't just go warp 9 everywhere they go. And someone said, well, they'll run out of fuel and it's too hard on the ship. And I said, yeah, it's too hard on the ship. What they should do is just do one blast for like 30 seconds at warp 9 and then in the frictionless vacuum of space glide. Expanse style, right?
Yeah, right.
And they're like, and then someone came in and they're like, well, the warp bubble is so they can travel at above light speed. They're not actually moving, they're folding space. That's not how warp speed works in Star Trek, dude. I'm sorry.
No.
But no, and they don't actually travel. They're sublight. Anyway, I will say, seeing the Roci leave Tycho Station, it is our thumbnail for a reason. I love that ship. I told you we're getting that. I bought a 3D printer, and I found a ton of different like Roci models to print.
Hey, let me know how that goes, because I've been thinking about that, and then you said you're getting one, and
well, it'll be here in like February, so when we get it, you can come up and we'll play with it.
Oh, cool. Dude, I'm down for that.
Yeah. I found like Green Lantern rings to print. I found a Legion flight ring. I found a really cool like astronaut, but it's got a stormtrooper head on it. I'm gonna print up a storm. Hallie and I are gonna start printing like superhero logos and sell them as magnets, sort of thing.
That's really cool.
So yeah, I'll say this. I really enjoyed this episode. I wish more would have happened.
Yeah, it was one of those where it's like where you're putting the pieces, you're just moving the pieces around so you can prepare for what's coming.
Yes,
that's what this episode was. And we didn't get a lot of so we got the people that we didn't get a lot of was Avasarala, Amos and Bobbie, and Holden and the Roci. Those were the ones.
This episode. Wait, which episode? This episode.
Well,
we got Avasarala at the beginning, kind of setting up what's happening with the Earth government, and she's getting some power back, which is always a good thing.
Yeah.
We got a lot of Amos. Oh, you meant Alex.
Sorry. I'm sorry, Alex and Bobbie.
Yeah, but okay. So here's the thing. I feel like the Avasarala stuff we got was perfect. It was setting her up. The Bobbie and Alex stuff that we got was amazing, and any more of that would have ruined how awesome that was.
Yeah, and that's what I'm like. I don't have a problem with it. It's just saying like we just didn't get a lot of them, and I like how this show does that. It focuses on what needs to be focused on for the story.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, it was more so about what's going on in the belt with Drummer and Marco, and also with with Amos and Clarissa / Peaches on Earth.
Yeah,
those were the two main storylines.
Well,
this episode.
So when I say nothing happened, right, there was no big like exciting things,
right?
But
we got
happened. There was a lot that it pushed the story forward. We got we saw the first cracks in the what's the word? The charisma that is Marco Inaris. When he told Sin to space Naomi, and he said no, and then he said, "Do you think I'm old enough now where you can take me?"
Yeah,
which was great.
I love that scene. Well, first of all, because the look on Marco's face, but then you were talking about the cracks. Did you see the look on the crew's face? Someone standing up to him,
right?
Like even bloodthirsty Carol was like, "Whoa, what's going on here?"
Well, and she was like, "Hey, if you want someone to space Naomi Nagata, I'm your gal. You just come to me next time. I won't even hesitate." So
yeah,
but that's why he asked Sen. He was, well, he asked Filip first, and then Filip was like, I don't want to do that, Dad.
yeah, and once again, what does Marco do? He puts Filip down for having a heart.
My son with a heart.
Yeah, I love Keon Alexander.
Keon Alexander is so great. Like, he could be Thrawn.
Yes, he's one of the way that just.
I mean, it's essentially the same character, but like he could totally be Thrawn. But yeah, I thought everything that happened on the Pella, I thoroughly enjoyed. Especially when Kamina and friends associates. Was that what he said? Drummer and associates showed up on the Pella and got an offer that they couldn't refuse. I thought that was interesting. That's a little different than the book.
Yeah, which I don't know the Belters, like one of the crew's name, but whoever that guy was, I loved his speech where he's like, "We're acting like this is a choice. It's not a choice. Like, we have to join." Right.
It's join or die.
Yeah, it is. Like, even though Marco said you can go in peace, there's never going to be peace. Mm-mm. Like, even if Marco didn't decide to vaporize them, they're never going to have peace unless they join up, because. Right. The inners, Earth and Mars, there's no way they're going to listen. "Oh, you're Belter, so you're responsible for this." And, that's going to be the first reaction. I mean, obviously, unless it's Holden or somebody like that, which there aren't, now that Fred's gone, there's not many inners that are going to give Belters the benefit of the doubt.
No, sir.
So, but I just love that scene where he's like, he's done more, like, and he didn't necessarily approve of it, but he said, he did what, Anderson Dawes and Fred Johnson couldn't do, and that's unite the belt. Doesn't mean that he did it the right way, but he's saying, because again, there's going to be a lot of Belters that are going to hate what he did, and granted, a lot that won't mind it either. But the people that hate what he did, they're going to see that we don't have a choice.
Right. He united the seven.
Yeah. Every time. Yeah. I think of that every time I hear that. Like, whatever reason. But yeah, I do. There were just small scenes like that where I just loved it. And I was surprised how well Drummer kept it together, because
considering her temper or whatever.
Like Carol said, your temper precedes you.
Yeah, your temper precedes you. That's what I was trying to get out, but words are hard. Hey, I made it an hour and 13 minutes before words became hard today. That's an all-time record. I also like the little scene between Monica and Bull. I thought that was great. And when she was like, "Well, I was one of the first people to go through the ring gate," and he's like, "Well, have you ever been on a military ship at high G's?" And she says, "I have, on this ship." And it was like, boom, way to end it.
And Holden's face was like, he had that little like small smirk, like, okay.
There was respect. Girl. He was like respect. Yeah. He hit it. Yeah. He did the fist to the chest bump twice, like respect.
Yeah.
All right. Every single thing with Amos and Clarissa in this episode was fantastic. There was nothing that happened that did not have you at least on the edge of your seat, wondering what was going to happen. Like when they found the dude who offered them the drink by the fire, you didn't know if he was going to turn on them, if they were going to turn on him, what was happening there. He was just essentially a guide point he was an NPC in a video game who was telling you which road to take.
Yeah. And that led into one of my favorite, lines. And they actually had it on, I think, Instagram, where they were like from the page to the book,
Mm-hmm.
and where they play the scene, and then they, on the side, they show the dialogue, how it was in the book. And it was very close to the book when he's talking about the civilization,
Mm-hmm.
civilization, what keeps you civil. Take away one, you can't depend on the other.
So it's really funny that this was the episode this week.
Yes, absolutely it was.
Because like tribes, right? He talks about tribes. Amos talks about tribes and how the smaller the tribe is, the more tight knit the tribe is. The larger the tribe gets, the more violent the tribe is.
Yes.
And I found that, and we watched this on Tuesday, so we watched it before, the churn. In the real world, but it was very, very true. To what that was.
Very apropos of what's gone on this week.
I like that word, apropos.
Yeah, that's one of my words. One of my go-to words.
My word is blasphemy. That's my favorite word. It's been my favorite word since I was 6 years old. So
I could see a 6-year-old Brian just say, "This is blasphemy."
Well.
Blasphemy.
It was the second or third time I'd gotten kicked out of Sunday school for asking too many questions. So you laugh, I'm
laughing because I could 100% see this. Absolutely.
They took me out, found my parents, and made me sit with them in church. And I remember her whispering to my mom in a very angry voice, "He can't come back until next week." And then after the third time, "He can't come back." He asked too many questions. He's making the kids think.
He's making the kids think. That is hilarious.
Oh, God. Yeah. Anyway, it was like, yeah. I've always been this way, so I'm sorry.
And that's why I laugh, because I'm like, I can absolutely see a 6-year-old Brian doing that.
I'm 100% sorry for being this way. I just can't help it. No, but I mean, it was the scene where it was so, oh man, the compound scene was so taken from the book so amazingly, as far as pen to paper to screen. It was everything I wanted that scene to be.
Yeah.
From the frozen gun, of the guy's quote unquote son, to the guy and like, why don't I just kill you and go take what I want, to Peaches, going full Hulk for hulking out. And the surprise on Amos's face, right? Like, you don't see a lot of surprise, but the like you were saying with the conversation there at the end between the very end that led to the, fade to ring gate, was when she asked him, like, why did you come here? We didn't have to do this. We didn't have to come here. We didn't have to kill that guy. And he says, Holden would have never let me do that. Or no, he didn't say let me. Holden wouldn't have liked me doing that or whatever.
Yeah, and it was his realization, and this is one of those things about Amos. Amos is my favorite character, but and I some of the reactors I listened to, they're like, he's just, because how he's caring for Peaches, like, he's a good dude. It's like, Amos is not a good dude.
Yeah, whoever said Amos was a good dude? Have they watched this show?
Okay, just because you like a character does not mean they're good. And that's actually the point what Clarissa was making, in the sense of, because she was like, do you regret it? Of, yeah, the guy was a creep, but what if he wasn't? Well, we still killed him. And he was like, we needed supplies. Yeah. And he was like, we did this. But then she was like, this, what we did, this is not something a good person does. And then she goes a step further. It's not even something a bad person who's trying to be good would do.
Right.
And that's where it hits Amos, where it's like, I need to get back to my crew, because he understands when he's talking about tribes and stuff. Holden and the crew of the Roci is Amos's North Star. If he's not connected with them, he knows where he can go. And even if he doesn't fully capture,
right,
how to get to the point of where he wants to be. He knows that he doesn't want to be the monster. It's kind of funny because Clarissa was talking about monsters, and one of the things she said is, I can't be a monster because monsters aren't afraid. And Amos, he told Alex, I haven't been afraid since I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
So I just love that combination of slowly dawning on him.
Mm-hmm.
I need my crew. I need my people. I need Holden. I need Naomi. I need Alex to make sure I stay on that path.
And I thought it was really important that he said Holden, right?
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
Let's flash back to the Doniger blows up. They're on the little shuttle. They're running out of air. And Amos says, "What's to stop me from ripping your head off and throwing you or helmet off and throwing you into space?"
Yeah.
I can't think of a good reason not to. I can't think of a good reason not to, but I can't think of a good reason to do it either. And
that Naomi wouldn't like it.
Yeah. And now it's like
the first thing.
He will follow Holden, and as we'll see, he will follow Holden to literally the gate of hell. Later in this story, which we're probably not going to get to see that for like 10 years on screen. But yeah, I mean, Holden is, like you said, the crew and Naomi. I think Holden is his North Star
right.
now.
No,
because he's looked at the decision that Holden makes and understands. Holden always tries to do the right thing. He doesn't always succeed at doing the right thing. But we also kind of heard when Johnny was at his lowest with Karate Kid, doing the right thing, you do it for the sake of doing the right thing, not because it's always going to work out. Yes. And Amos isn't there right now. That's where that's where he's been for the last season and a half leading up to season 5. That's why he was, so compelling on Illis, and that's why he cared so much about those people on Illis. But you put this Amos in there, he becomes a warlord.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah, I love this show. The show's so good.
And I like how you said, I love how you said how it faded to Ring Gate. And that was one of the most muted cliffhangers in a way, because like usually it's like, oh man, something's crazy's happened. Like, Alex and Bobbie are floating in space now or something like that.
Yeah.
But this one is a character realizing how much they need another character, lest they become a monster.
Right.
Like, it's just great, right? Just great.
Yes. I think that is the way to describe. I mean, this is another like 4 out of 5 Rocis, right? As far as episodes go. I've actually been just kind of for notes and stuff looking at Ready Set Cut is the website. They do a really great write up. I should probably link it out in the show notes if I remember to do it, because I've got them done. But yeah, I just kind of like, they break it down like what's happening, and it's just easy. It helps me kind of like talk about it as we're going through this. I kind of use it as a guide, and not even like they're not putting like a lot of commentary in there. They're just saying what happened. So. But guys, I love your site. I've actually checked out a bunch of the other stuff, not just the Expanse stuff, but they break it down by Netflix, Amazon Prime, Apple TV, movies, TV shows. So yeah.
I just took a note on that. I want to check them out.
Cool. I don't have anything else to say about this episode. What I want to see next week is I want them to get to Baltimore, but I don't want them to stay in Baltimore for very long. I would really like them to gather Eric and get to Luna.
Yeah, and so. I didn't. This is one of those. Another reason why you rewatch episodes is because when Marco, after he gets annoyed listening to Filip and Naomi, actually bond.
Yeah.
He brings up the display, and it looks like he's trying to plot an intercept course for the Roci chasing the Zamea. I think that's called.
Yep.
So I'm wondering if we're going to get some space battle action with them, or
I don't know.
I'm still wondering how Naomi's going to get out of this, and how close to the book is going to be versus
I really want to see that like scene from the book, but I understand like special effects wise that's going to be really hard to do.
Yeah, so I'll just say this: I trust them.
And maybe what would be cooler is you see her jump out, and then the screaming firehawk is the next thing you see is the screaming firehawk like gathering her up.
Yeah, it's
so you don't have to see any of the like horror show that goes along with being in space and in a vacuum without a pressurized suit.
Right.
So anyway, that's what I have for this week.
Yeah. All I need to add is it Tuesday yet?
No, I wish.
Damn
I will say before we close out, I started reading Ready Player 2 this week, and I feel like Ready Player 1 is like kind of like we were talking about Patty Jenkins. I feel like Ready Player 1 is the exception for Ernest Cline. As I'm reading through this, I'm going to read the whole book because I started it.
Yeah, because our motto was...
Honestly, if he would have just changed the kid's name to Alex Rogan Jr. and called it The Last Starfighter 2, it would have been much more interesting. I'm not kidding. It's like what was it? The one with Colin Farrell that was the remake, Total Recall. If Total Recall would have been called something else, that'd have been a really good movie. But we had a different expectation for it. If Ang Lee's Hulk would have been called Weird Green Monster, it would have been a really good movie, right? It just wasn't a Hulk movie.
Right.
You know, but like, so there's been some like controversy around, you know, woke issues, if you will. And, you know, you guys took it all out of context. He's talking about like, I told you on the phone, it was the scene or the line of dialogue, line of writing, where he's talking about like experiencing different kinds of sex, and he says like man on man, man on woman, woman on woman, blah blah blah, and then it says non-binary, and then he says I'm not ready for that, and all these people said, oh, he's not ready for non-binary sex. No, he's not ready for any of the virtual reality sex. That was the thing. That was the whole thing about it. You know, and you know, Ernest Cline has thrown some things in there that are just really stupid. And you know, he's supposed to be this arbiter of nerddom. And correct me, Magnum PI wore a tiger's hat, right?
I believe so. Let's check it out.
I looked it up. It was a tiger's hat.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm like.
Anyway,
I think it was.
Well, and like, I know I'm nitpicking here, but he's like, yeah, I want to put on my Magnum PI. I want to put on my Hawaiian shirt and my Lions hat. Dude, you're from Ohio. Here's the thing that bothers me the most about the book. Is Middletown, Ohio is this idealized place with like an arcade and a pizza place that everybody wanted to go to. Hey, Ernie, where are the meth heads? That's my review of the book. Where are the meth heads in Middletown, dude? Where are they? Because I tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to go to Middletown, Ohio. Words are hard. I'm not going to go to Middletown, Ohio. I'm not going to park my car and leave it out of my sight for more than 5 minutes.
I guess the future has changed it. Maybe. It's
not the future. He's talking about like the 80s through the 90s. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
So, yeah. But yeah. All right. On that note. Thank you all for listening. Have a great day, night, evening, weekend, wherever it is.
Yeah, I was about to say, hope you have a great weekend and watch.
Well, I hope you had a great weekend. And let's look forward to Alabama kicking the crap out of Ohio State.
Yeah, buddy.
So, anyhow, all right. So, cool. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good one. Later.
Take it easy.